Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to my second LP. We're playing a game called The Last Spell. I'll be going over what this game is about in a moment. First, I want you to listen to the music in this game and pay attention to the visuals. If they appeal to you, then you'll be interested and hopefully you'll stick around to see what the game is really about. I'll be narrating the opening of the game, and anytime there is any sort of audio and text anytime there's any text without any narration, I'll be doing the narration for it. So, without further ado, let's. So I've already beat this game before, spent quite a bit of hours in this game, but we'll be doing a completely new save. You know, I might as well let this opening play out. The theme song, that is. You can get the OST, it's available on YouTube if you want to listen to the music, because the music in this game is phenomenal. Alright, let's get started. War. For centuries, the world was engulfed in never-ending strife and chaos. Elves fighting dwarves, dwarves fighting humans, orcs fighting everyone. The common folk were bled dry, misery, famine, plague. Secluded in his tower researching forbidden magic secrets, the Archmage Hieronymus Teller made an extraordinary discovery. Wild, unknown words of power to harness tremendous forces. A ritual of mass destruction able to obliterate any city in one strike. Hoping to end all wars, he cast a spell on Glintfine, a small enemy village. A gigantic dark ball of purple flames fell from the sky and smashed into the town center, leaving only ruins, lifeless bodies, and purple fumes. The whole royal family of a neighboring kingdom was present at that time. They all died. The king, mad with grief, ordered the military to research this new magic. He made his mages unleash hell on the closest major city. Several 100,000 died. Every kingdom sought the purple magic. Alliances were set in motion. The sky was constantly flashing purple bursts. Thundering blasts were heard every hour. War was no more. Only annihilation. There was no turning back. At some point, the explosions stopped. A resounding silence. An ominous mist started to aggregate around the remaining cities. Small groups of survivors gathered. The surrounding mist was thickening. At night, they had to defend against ghastly monsters. They called them Claws. A fighter simply known as the Commander took charge. Defenses were rebuilt, some havens emerged from the chaos. Most mages were hanged or worse in retribution. Some of them, fearing for their lives, tried to find an answer. They found a way. A spell. The last spell. They devised complex rituals to cleanse the corrupted runic nexus. The goal was simple yet nearly impossible. Channel enough energy to break the remaining seals of magic and banish all magic from this world forever. But when comes the night, terrifying mutated creatures appear. They come out of the mist to kill. The survivor's only hope is to fight night after night and protect those mages at any cost, until the last spell is cast. Okay, so that's the setting for this game. Now to go over what this game actually is, might as well read this as well. Defend the last bastion of humanity with your squad of heroes while the mages try to banish all magic, exterminate fiendish monsters by night, and rebuild your battered city defenses by day. So that's basically what this game is. It's a tactical, turn-based RPG at night, and at day it sort of becomes the planning part of a tower defense game, because you can set up defenses, you can build shops and upgrades to make your heroes stronger so that they can do the night part better. It's a very interesting game. I think it's the only one like it. Protect the magic circle night after night until the mages break the seal. The haven is lost if the magic circle is destroyed or if all heroes are dead. During the deployment phase, position your heroes by placing them just outside the city. The camera can be moved using... Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm not gonna read all these tutorials because I know how to play the game. So, you can see where the enemies are gonna come from. So they'll be coming from over here. And this game has classes, but the classes come from weapons. Well, basically, they're a combination of the weapon type and the perks and the starting attributes that your heroes have. And on the very first night, you don't really get to choose much. You just have to play with what you have. So this one has a shield and hammer. So she's the melee type right now, anyway. This one has a wand, so she's the magic type. This one has a bow, so she's the range type. I said she for everybody. Are they all women? Yeah, they're all women. You can also change the names of these characters and their features, like their face, hair, etc. You can change all of that. Even their race you can change. I think you can change their race. You used to be able to anyway. But before the fight actually starts, you can place your characters wherever you want, but you want to be careful because this game is all about eliminating hordes of monsters. If you place them too far over here, then when the monsters come in, they're gonna kill your character, so you gotta be careful with that. So I'm gonna place them all over here for now. I think I'll place the warrior in the middle, or the melee in the middle. Okay. And you're gonna want to use your melee heroes first, because they have to actually close in and fight the enemies head on. So I'll send the melee over here first. Actually, also you can redo actions if you want to. So I'll attack this one here first, and then close it off with these two. And you're very limited when you first start the game. This is a roguelite game, so your heroes will get better and better, not just throughout this day and night cycle, but also permanently in general. Anytime you start a new run, your heroes will be much stronger. They'll have better options as you put more time into the game. So there are different levels of progression. And a significant aspect of the game, at least early on, is conservation of mana is very difficult. So you want to use moves that don't use up a lot of your mana. Stop there. So early on, positioning is really important because you don't have much to work with. So as you see, this guy attacked me, and even though there are hordes of monsters, it's not like your characters are overpowered, at least from a defensive point of view. If this guy hit me, he would have taken a third of my life. So you have to be very careful. It's not exactly a hard game, at least compared to the game I played just now, God Hand. It's not that hard of a game. But it's all about planning and knowledge. And if you plan your movements well, you'll do well. But if you just haphazardly attack anyone you see, you're gonna end up losing your heroes, so you have to be careful. But the game gives you plenty of time to plan your moves, so it's not that bad. Also, because I've already played through the game, I'm now more knowledgeable about what to do right off the bat. Even though it's been like more than a year since I played the game. It didn't have any... I think it wasn't even out. It was in early access when I played it last. So there are things that have changed. I did go back once when the game came out. I did check it out, but when I beat the game, it was still in early access. I say beat the game, but as you know, this is a roguelite. You don't actually beat it. You can experience what the game has to offer, as much of it as you want. But there's really no beating roguelike games. You just play them as much as you want until it stops being fun, and then you move on to the next game. So early on, you're gonna want to use skills that don't cost any mana, unless you are really pressed. At that point, you might want to use mana, but in general, it's best not to use mana if you don't have to. Yeah, you can see what sort of skills enemies have. These early guys are kind of trash mobs. They don't have a lot of skill. They just walk up to you and hit you. But as the game goes on, some monsters do have special skills. Even now, you have this guy Dodger. They just have base attributes. Like this one has an 18% chance to dodge your moves, and he also decreases the accuracy of your guys by 20%. So against the ranged guys, the Dodger is the worst enemy type, because ranged guys tend to rely on accuracy quite a bit because they have a tendency to miss a lot of their attacks. It's always a good idea to use your melee first, because the melee has to be there, and they have to close in and attack people, so they're not really that safe. But the magic and the range type can move quite a bit, so it's best to use them and make sure that your melee character is really safe and can yeah, they're really safe. So you want to ensure the safety of the melee hero and use them first, and then take out all the enemies around them using the ranged and the magic type. And you might say, well, if the melee type doesn't really seem to be doing more damage, why do you even need a melee type? Because as the game goes on, you'll encounter enemies that have all sorts of different attributes, and different types of heroes are good at different types of are good at beating different types of monsters. Sort of like rock, papers, and scissors. And you see this number right here, 26, that means that's how many monsters are left before the night ends. So we are getting close to the end here, of the first night anyway. And this is the tutorial map, so this is the easiest one. The game gets harder and harder. And with roguelikes, as you might know, failure is expected, so you're not expected to win right off the bat. And it's fine if you fail a map, because in general you'll be stronger. You'll get some upgrades that'll just make the start of the fight better for you. And you'll get better and better heroes with better base attributes as well. You see that attack missed him right there? Also, the wand has a skill that gives action points to a different hero. There's all sorts of different unique weapon types, and that's one of the draws of this game. The weapon types change how you play the game dramatically. Alright, so now that we're at the end, I can be a bit more daring and just get in their face. Okay. So that's the night cycle done. And now we get to do our planning for the next night. And you see the border is pushed further in, so the next time monsters come, they'll be starting from here. So the nights do get more and more difficult over time. Let's see what rewards we got for the night. We'll take the pants. And you level up your characters. You get to choose, so the attributes you get are primary and secondary. These come in at random. And you can reroll, but reroll reduces your choices as well. So if I don't like any of these, I can reroll, and now my choices are a bit more limited. But early on, you're gonna need mana, so I'm gonna take mana. And mana regen. So these are the character's unique starting perks. So this one for ranged is not so bad, -2 movements. If this were on the melee character, I would swap out their moveset and turn them into ranged. So this ranged character is terrible. She only has 3 movement. Which is why I'm going to give her this perk, which means if you don't move, you get 2 more range and 10% accuracy. So you're gonna want to build around what attributes your heroes have, or you might want to go all in on their positives. Alright, so this one is equipped with a hammer, so that's the melee one. And obviously I can just turn this one also into a ranged character or a magic character if I want to. But starting off, if their attributes are favorable for a particular archetype, then you might want to do that. But right now, I mean, it says battle mage, but it also increases physical damage by 8%, so it's fine. Reliability lowers the spread between the damage you do. So for example, you'll see it says base damage 117, 136. Reliability increases, well, it lowers the range, but in a positive direction. So instead of 117, 136, if you have 80% reliability, it would be 130, 136. So it's a good thing. Yeah, I'll just increase mana. Multi-hit. This is pretty good if you have a weapon that can multi-hit. I don't have one right now. But I might, you know what, I might pick that because I can just get one. I think the crossbow multi-hits, so I might get that. Yeah, let's hold off on buying a perk for this character. Let's see if we can get the crossbow first. And for a mage, mana is the most important one, so you of course want mana for the mage. Critical power is good for everybody, so I'll get that. Or I might reroll and see if we can get anything better. Reliability or momentum. Momentum's purely for melee types. Well, also I guess some magic weapons can benefit from momentum too. So this is a good skill for mages. Every 4 enemies killed, you get +1 daily mana regen, up to 25% of the hero's mana. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll take this. Alright, so let's see what we have in the shop. Well, I can get another wand, and wand has a multi-hit, so we can have 2 mages. We don't need every archetype at the start, so I guess we can have 2 mages. Yeah, I'll buy the wand. And then this character. I'll give her these greaves and this wand, and give her the harvester skill. So now I have 2 magic types and 1 range type, no melee. Alright, so now that we've leveled our characters, now we build our defenses as well as use gold for stuff. So first thing you're gonna want to build is a mana well, so you can restore mana to your heroes. Super important. And also you'll want to build houses or upgrade houses for your workers, because workers can do all sorts of things like scavenging ruined buildings for gold and materials. That's pretty good. Alright, now let's see what else we can build. So we have enough materials to build some walls and a gate. So I'll build a gate over here and over here. Then we can build wooden walls here. And as the game goes on, you get access to different defense types. So there's a defense type called Watchtower, and if you put a ranged character in a Watchtower, it increases their range. Well, it increases anybody's range, but you want your ranged character on a Watchtower. And because I bought the perk that says if you don't move, your range increases by 2, so that creates a great synergy there. So the Watchtower raises your range, and then not moving raises your range. So in endgame, you end up with some ranged characters that are equipped with like a longbow or a rifle, and they have access to the 2 sides of the entire map. So I've had ranged heroes where I would put them over here on a Watchtower, and they'd be able to aim at anybody in this entire area and this entire area. So you can create some really powerful synergies in this game. So I have quite a bit of materials left over. Might as well reinforce some walls. I can strategically place these barricades to stall some of these monsters. Because we don't have a melee type right now, we can attack from range. So the barricades won't get in the way of any melee hero because we don't have a melee hero. Alright, we're ready now. So remember, I got multi-hit for this character. If this wizard uses multi-hit, they can hit 4 times, but if this one uses it, they can hit 5 times because I got that rare level up that gives me more multi-hit. So that one's very powerful. But anyway, that requires mana, so we don't have to use it right now. Okay. And yeah, they really hate the mages in this game, which is weird because you have like mage heroes. Nobody hates them, but everybody hates these poor mages over here. Well, I guess they're not poor mages. I mean, the world is screwed up because of them, so I guess their anger is justified. Okay. $81 left. And another mage. Quick, find another mage. Okay, I guess, well, the tutorial is unwinnable. Oh, so I guess you're supposed to lose here. And this is the permanent upgrade section. There's two types. One is achievement based and one is point based. This is the point based upgrade system. What is this place? The Oraculum is what I said. Yeah, I'm not gonna read all of this, but basically it's these two, well, right now there are two things that help you in your journey. So you use points to get these permanent upgrades. Like this one just gives all of your heroes plus 15 health forever, permanently. And now you have all these different upgrades. You can't buy them now, but a lot of them are really good, especially early on, because these are just straight up weapon types, so you really need these. I'm gonna back up. And this is the achievement based upgrade type. So if you do a certain amount of things, you unlock new things to play with. Okay, so this just unlocks a new map to play with. Omens, yeah, this is the thing they added to the game when it was out of early access, I think. Select omens before starting a run to increase the strength of your heroes and your haven, okay. Each haven has a restriction on how many omens you can select. Right, so you in this map you can select 3 bonuses. Tainted Essence, that's the point-based upgrade system, so I'm gonna put that one on because we need that. Oh, swiftness, +1 movement, that's pretty good, and +8 mana, that's good too. So those are the 3 I'll go with. Let's start this. Alright, so this is a difficulty 1 map, Gildenberg. Alright, let's see what heroes we have to work with. So this guy is a Pyromancer. That's a pretty strong starting perk, Pyromancer. So on the leftmost slot they have like a job, or what they used to be before the world went to hell. So this guy used to be a Pyromancer. Then if you go over here, this person was a pickpocket, this person was a messenger, and then to the right you have their physical attributes, physical or mental attributes. So these are 2 mental attributes, snotty and hesitant. And then robust, that's a physical attribute. Mystic, that's mental. So basically they're sort of like perks, positive and negative. So this is pretty good, Pyromancer. And this guy is a mage, so that's appropriate. Pickpocket, +10% isolation, -30 armor. So this person then should be ranged because -30 armor is really bad. So they can't be melee. But then they have a physical attribute that gives them +30 armor, so it cancels out, I guess. However, this -6% physical damage, that means yeah, they probably shouldn't be melee. Messenger, +2 movement, that's pretty good for a melee, +2 movement. Vulnerable, -5% resistance. Resistance isn't too bad right now. Short-sighted, -1 skill range, which is a problem if you are ranged or even magic, but for melee it doesn't matter that much. It still does for some melee weapons, but for a hammer it doesn't matter at all. Okay. So they're coming from over here, and alright, only one direction so far. That's good. I'll place the melee guy over here, the ranged over here, and the magic Pyromancer over here. Alright. Okay, let's start with the melee. You always want to start with the melee. So and you need to leave enough movement points to be able to back off. So I think I can do with one. Yeah, it's too risky if I take another step forward, because then I'd only be able to go back here. I think I should go back. See, this is why you want to start with melee, because if I'd used the range to take care of the guys over here, then the melee wouldn't be able to act at all unless I spent all my points, and then the melee guy would be stuck over here. So planning out your actions is really important in this game. Okay. We're arranged. Okay. All right. They're in a line here. I might as well use this then. And I think I can afford to let him come a bit further in. Yeah, I'll just sit back over here. So I have enough movement points. I'll let this wizard give him 2 more movement points. And bring him over here. And now I'll let the monsters come in a bit. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright, so as you see here, there's 41 left. I'll use the ranged guy first. I'll wait over here. Now let's use the melee. Getting dangerously close, but I think we should be fine here. And yeah, I think we're good. Early on, you can't mess up even once, because if one of your guys gets hit by one monster, that lowers their base attributes quite a bit. So they don't do, your heroes, if they get wounded, they don't do enough damage. They might not be able to move as well. You're pretty much screwed. So you're gonna want to be very careful early on. But there's only 30 left, so I can afford to be a bit more daring now. Okay. I think I can afford to spend a bit more mana. Okay. So as you can see, the melee hero does the most damage, but they have to move in order to do that damage. Okay, that's the first night done. Still only coming in from one direction. That's good for me. Alright, so first let's level up these guys. Critical, and you also get uncommon and rare level ups. That means that the attribute increases more so than usual. So this is pretty good. I'll go with this. Secondary. I'll go with reliability. Perks. Yeah, I'll get sprint. Sprint is pretty good if you find yourself in a difficult situation. You can sacrifice some health and give you more movement so that you get out of the way of the hordes of monsters coming in. It's better to lose some health than all of your health. Alright, so this is the mage. Let's see what we can get for him. Accuracy might be good, but let's see. Raw damage, sure. All of these are good. Let me see what perks I can get from him. Mana growth, plus 6 mana every 3, increased by 3 for each level of the hero. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll get that. So yeah, I should get some raw damage then. Skill range plus 2, that's pretty good. For a mage, as well as ranged, that's pretty good. Alright. Steady aim, if you don't move, it increases your range and accuracy. Right now I don't think it's that good. I'm gonna go with mana growth here. And raw damage is good. And also reliability, I guess, is good. Okay. So, first things first, as always, we build a mana well. There isn't one here, right? Nope. So I'm gonna build a mana well right here. None of my heroes need mana right now, but that should still be the first thing that you spend money on. And now I upgrade houses, so I can have more workers to do things. Let's see what reward I got. Wand, rusty shield, barren cape, damage and reliability, and poison damage. A regular wand, I think I can go for a regular wand. Or a rusty shield for the melee type. Yeah, I'll go with the shield. Okay. So now, early on with money, there's not much you can build. I guess I might as well go to the shop and see what we can buy. Worn greaves, cloth armor. Cloth armor is pretty good for a mage because it gives them one movement. Meteor ring early on, I guess it can be useful, but it costs so much mana to use. Death ray scroll. You can use it twice, but it does tons of damage. I don't really need any of these things. I'll buy the worn cloth armor and the worn greaves. Maybe not the greaves. I mean, they do. Yeah, we don't need them. I think we're good for now. Might as well upgrade another house and then use the money left over to get some more gold and materials. Okay, now I can improve my defenses a bit. So let's close off this wall here. Well, actually, I mean, there's a hole here, so I guess it is closed off. Let's build some gates. Gate over here. A gate over here. And a gate over here. And then walls over here. Here. Still have plenty of resources left. Might as well complete these walls. And I think we are good. So the materials left over, I might as well use them to build defenses in some other area, because they're coming in from here for now, but for the next phase they might come from somewhere over here. So I might as well improve these areas. Let's build a gate here and here, and then some walls over here. I think I messed up though. This shouldn't be a gate. I should build one over here and then one over here maybe. But anyway, we're good for now. So now let's give the weapons to the appropriate characters. Yeah, shield should go to the melee and cloth armor should go to the mage. So now the mage and the melee both have 9 movement. Okay. So let me put the melee character over here. The mage over here. And the ranged character over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nah, I think they're good over here. Alright. I think we're ready. They're concentrating a bit on this side, so I might wanna send one person over here. Yeah, I might want to use this again. One, two, three, four. Alright. 47 left. Okay. This should be doable. Okay. So thankfully I had enough armor to tank that one hit. And I should probably conserve some mana now. Only 23 left anyway. Okay. 12 left. And we are almost done. And because this can take a while, I might as well talk about something unrelated. So yeah, but we're done with this night. I'll start with the next one. Okay, so if they don't die, you could always just punch him. Although he's still not dead. That's annoying. Might as well punch him again. Okay. Alright, now they're coming from over here and over there. So now we need heroes on two sides. Put the ranged one over here. The melee over here. And I have acquired enough essence to upgrade. And some upgrades you can get that'll affect things in real time, as in during your run. So this one will not affect the heroes during this run, but this stuff will. So new items can now appear in your run. Sword. This will unlock the sword type. This will unlock the hand crossbow, and this will unlock the Tome of Secrets. So I'll get those. And mana, even if it doesn't benefit the current heroes, I should get this. This is pretty good. So okay, that's all I can get for now. House, this is pretty good, so I'll get this. Hammers, short bow variations. Variations are just better versions of the standard weapon. More mana for the melee character or health? Damage is increased by 30% of the hero's current mana. That's pretty good. I'll get that. Even if you're not a mage, that's good. So I'll get that for him. Experience gain early on is super good, so I'll get that too. So this is the mage. Let's see what I can get for him. Raw damage again, sure. And what else? Critical power. If your critical chance is low, then getting critical power is not great. But if you know that you're going to get either level ups or gear that'll increase your crit chance, then yeah, you can go for a critical power increase. But currently, mana regen is pretty good, especially for a mage, because they use tons of mana. This is pretty good. Every 10% of missing mana adds plus 4% critical. So that makes this more powerful as the night goes on. The lower your mana, the greater your crit chance. So block is useless for a ranged guy. Resistance is also useless. Damage, raw damage. I could go for that. And experience gain, I'll go for that. Perks. Every 2 enemies hit, the next skill gets vision. That's good. But again, magic fuel is pretty good for everybody. And for some reason, these starting heroes have tons of mana. I don't know why. Because from what I remember, early on in the game, you get heroes that have very little mana. But these guys have tons of mana. Maybe they rebalance the game? I don't know. Magic crystal increases range and gives you more mana. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll get this. And give this to the mage. Right now, I'm gonna scavenge this ruin here and use the money to build a house. And one more. So now I have more workers to work with. Okay. I can scan more ruins. Let's see what we can buy here. Mana potions are pretty good. I'll get one of these. This is a good scroll for a melee type. I'll get this. Novice one +1. I can get this. Anything else? So they have 2 slots in their inventory for scrolls and potions. Let me give a mana potion to the mage and a charge scroll to the melee. Sell the novice wand. I can buy this grape shot scroll and a mana potion, and I'll give this to the ranged guy. I think we're good for now. So where's the ranged person? Right here. Okay. Mana potion, grape shot scroll. Now we have tons of materials to build our defenses. So they're coming in from here and here. Let's start building some walls. Let's get these guys out of here first. Okay. I'll replace some of these with gates. So a gate over here, gate over here. Oops, that's a reinforced wall. Messed up there. So a gate over here and a gate over here. And I might as well, alright, gate over here. I should probably put a gate here instead. Okay. And then complete these walls over here. And I think we're good. Still have some material. Might as well place a barricade over here. And what I will do, I think, is place a ranged character over here. And a melee character. And a magic character over here. Melee I will put over here. And depending on where the enemies come from or where they're concentrated more, I might send the mage up here or down here. Okay. It's a very small amount to start with. So this guy is an archer. They have a ranged attack, which can be pretty bad. And I'll already find myself in a bad situation. I think I'm gonna have to spend some health to get out of here. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so I think the melee alone is fine up top because there's not that many people over here. Oh boy. Also good thing that missed. Okay. I think I can move up here. Hmm. I think. Okay. I think I'll keep an eye on both sides from over here. Alright, only 34 left. That's good. So... One, two, three, four. But now I want to move in here. Give him some movement. And get him up here. Okay. Alright, the ranged character didn't do anything. Should probably use my potions up because these potions do replenish when the night is done. I don't know about scrolls, if scrolls replenish, but potions definitely do. So you want to use them before the end. And I think we're pretty much done now. Just 12 more left. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I forgot to start with a story this time, but just so that I remember, before the start of the next night, I'm gonna tell a story in the series that I call Mom's Shoe Beatings. These are all the times that my mom beat me with a shoe. And it sounds, I don't know what it sounds like, but these are all hilarious stories, and Well, I guess I have something for you to look forward to at the start of the next night. Not in real life, I mean next night in the game. So about 10 more minutes, I'd say. And if I forget, be sure to remind me. Whoever's in the chat at that time. Okay, so that was pretty easy. Are they only coming in from this side? Okay, but this is a 3-tier mob, so this means it might be difficult. Anyway, so that's the melee type, right? Block is good, but we want damage right now. Go with raw damage and 15% critical, so yeah, critical power is good too. Mana growth, sure, because magic fuel is energized as well with mana growth. Glass cannon, I might go for that. That's pretty bad if for a melee type, but I think we're so early in the game that it doesn't matter. Accuracy is pretty good for both mages and range types, so I'll go with some accuracy here. Experience gain also great. Alright, let's see what else I can do. Overload is pretty good. +1 bag equipment slot, so you can add more potions or scrolls, and each of those gets +1 extra use. So you'll get one more use out of a potion or a scroll, which is top tier for mages. Armor for ranged is useless. Critical, yeah, I might increase the critical. And critical power, might as well. Let's see what perks we can get. Plus 25% experience or overload for the range type. Yeah, sure. Overload is pretty good for everybody, so. And now let's see if we can get some permanent upgrades. Yeah, I'm gonna skip all of this. Gold mine is pretty useless. Scavenger camp also pretty useless early on. Not much you can do with gold, so why would I want a gold mine? More health, more mana. Yeah, I'll get more mana. Oh, it also applies to heroes already in your haven. I didn't know that. That's pretty good. Okay. Let's see what reward we got for the night. Sword. Or Tome of Secrets. I really like Tome of Secrets. It has some flashy skills. I might get that. Sword is good too. And it is better than the hammer. But yeah, I'll go with the level 2 Tome of Secrets. Maybe you can get it in the shop. The sword, I mean. Yeah, we can get a sword. Well, that's... We can get a sword in the shop and a mana potion. As well as a poison dagger skill. That's pretty good. I'll get that. Warp crystal. Alright, we can't reroll. Yeah, I'll get the regular sword. Sword is better than hammer for me anyway. So I'll get that. Warp crystal is pretty good too. Teleportation. I'll get the sword. Okay. So now, let's see what we can give to whom. So first let's give the sword to the melee type. Mana potion level 2 I will give to the mage as well as this novice tome. And I'll give the level 1 mana potion to the melee type. And I might as well give the poison dagger skill to the mage, even though it's a physical type. Or I might give it to the mage. Yeah, you know what? The range type has very little mana compared to the mage, so I might as well give this to the mage. Okay. And then let's sell this and this. Do I get the teleportation crystal? I might. I mean, you can equip 2 things per character, so I might as well get the teleportation crystal. Warp crystal. Yeah, I can get this. I can get this, and I might give this to the melee character to get them out of a dodgy situation. Okay. And with the rest of the gold that we have, we could just upgrade some of this stuff. I think we're full up on mana. Which one needs mana? The melee hero. Okay. Yeah, we don't need more mana. Upgrades, so we're good here. Man, there's really not much to do with all this gold early in the game. I have tons of gold and nothing to spend it on. I guess I could buy this, which it grants +6 max mana. Turn it into +10. And give this to the mage. Where's the mage? There he is. +10 max mana. There we go. What else can I do? I can build a temple. And this will give one character more max health, but requires 2 workers. Okay. I still only have 1 worker. Sure, I'll get this. Okay. Now I have tons of materials, but what do I do with all these materials? Not much to do here, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to do. I can just fortify these walls, I guess. Yeah. I guess that's all I can do with all these materials. Later on you'll be able to build useful stuff like ballista, but for now, it's not much you could do. With the remaining I might as well put some barricades in useful places. Okay. Since they're all coming from this side, Might as well place characters here, 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 and here. Or rather, maybe the ranged should be here. Magic here, melee here. Okay. I think we're good to go now. End phase. Okay. That's not a lot of them to start with. Oh, they're coming in from this side too? Did not see that coming at all. Okay. Yeah, if they're coming in from the edges, then might as well place these heroes on the edges too. We already have a use for the teleportation crystal. You see how the sword has completely different skills. Okay. Right, so let me start with the first story in the series. That time my mom beat me with a shoe. So the reason for it is I was a menace as a kid, right? I would cause all sorts of problems. And I was really stubborn and thick-skinned, like nothing really bothered me. So if my mom would yell at me, it didn't really do anything. And I'm from a place where, you know, you beat your kids all the time. It's not a big deal. Nobody really cares much about it. And you know, I think some kids do respond to beatings. At least I was one of those kids. I was very stubborn. So there was this thing. In my country, there was this commercial where a bunch of athletes were playing a game of cricket, sort of like baseball, if you don't know what cricket is. And it was nighttime and it was raining, and so the athletes dove to catch a ball into a field of grass. And when they dove into the field of grass, because it was raining, the water splashed everywhere. And I think I was 6 or 7 at the time, and I saw this water splashing everywhere and thought it was super cool. And I wanted to do that. Now where I live, there wasn't a lot of grass anywhere. So I figured, well, we don't have any grass. What do we have? We have a very thick carpet. So my mom wasn't home at the time. So I took a giant bucket full of water and I filled it up to like a third, because I was very little at the time. I couldn't carry a bucket that was completely full of water, so I filled it up to a third, and then I carried it into the living room where we had the thick carpet, and I would splash the water on the carpet. And I did this like I think 10, 12 times until the carpet was wet enough for me to dive into. And then I did that, and I dove into the carpet, and obviously it wasn't like what you see, what you saw in the commercial, because I think well, grass and carpet are two different things to start with. But also I think, the commercial was edited and it didn't really show what it would really be like. But anyway, I did it and I was satisfied. I was like, well, it wasn't as good as I thought, but I did it, so I guess I'm done now. And then I went on my way. But then my mom came home and she found this carpet and it was all wet. And I think so we would this was back when vacuum cleaners, back before vacuum cleaners were a common thing, at least in houses where I was. So we didn't have access to vacuum cleaners, so we'd use like traditional, I don't even know what to call them, dusters or whatever, to clean stuff. So we wouldn't clean the carpet every day, so the carpet was kind of dusty, and then you add water on top of it, so it was a very wet and stinky carpet, and my mom was furious. And then she asked me, why did you do this? Like, what possible reason could you have to do this, And then I told her, I watched that commercial and I wanted to dive on the carpet and have water splash everywhere. And I was completely like, I wasn't guilty at all. I wasn't ashamed or anything. I was like, yeah, I watched the commercial. I wanted to do that. And so then my mom, she was furious, and then she beat me with a shoe. And she said, are you going to do it again? And then I was like, I was kind of, I was shifty-eyed. I didn't say no. I was so stubborn. Even though I was getting beat with a shoe, I still didn't say no, I'm not going to do it again. And by the way, just so you know, the shoe that my mom used to beat me with was very flimsy. It was made of a very flimsy sponge-like material, sort of like flip-flops, bathroom slippers that kind of go like this. So the material was such that if you hit someone with it, it would produce a loud sound, but it wouldn't hurt much. So it was very effective as a disciplining tool for kids. But it didn't work on me at all. And I have younger brothers and sisters, and some of my, especially my sister, is very sensitive. So my mom almost never hit my sister. I think she only hit my sister one time, and she was very withdrawn for like a few days afterwards. And then my mom was like, okay, I guess I can't hit her. But my mom would hit me all the time. I didn't care. I don't even think it worked. I guess it worked in the moment. So I guess I can share another small story. So my mom would, I hated eating lamb, mutton, whatever you want to call it. I hated it. I didn't like the taste. I didn't like the smell. I would never eat it. So my mom would, first she would be like, come on, son, please eat this mutton. Please eat this bite of lamb. And I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna eat it. And then she would get frustrated, and then she'd say, you either eat this bite of lamb or you eat the shoe, son. And then I would basically, she'd have to beat me with a shoe for every bite of lamb. Like I just wouldn't eat the lamb. And here's the thing, my mom, and I didn't know this at the time, but my mom also hates eating lamb, beef, mutton. She hates all of this stuff. And then she was forcing me to eat this thing that she herself didn't want to eat. But anyway, so I would get beat with a shoe for each bite of lamb. Eventually my mom would give up. She'd be like, this isn't worth it. This kid is he's a menace. But despite all of that, like I had a great childhood, because I would always get whatever I wanted. So like I was the eldest, so I had all the game consoles, not immediately, like not when a console would come out. I'd have to whine a bit, and throw a fit or whatever you want to call it before my dad would buy it for me. But eventually I got whatever I wanted, so I had a pretty happy childhood. But I have lots of these types of shoe beating stories. to share. But I'll save the others for next time. And only 65 left. Okay. Missed again. Let's use a scroll. Blade Rush. Might as well drink these mana potions. Okay. And over here. The lightning really looks cool, and it does tons of damage too. One, two, three, four. Okay. Might as well head in. Lots of them over on this side, which is good because the mage is our biggest damage dealer right now. So 1, 2, 3. Am I gonna have to use a teleportation scroll again? I think I am. Okay. That'll do. Alright. Now I could use a grape shot here. And some more mana potions. Alright. So this guy has to do the most damage in order to make this work. 1, 2, 3, 4. A lightning blast over here. Okay. And then 1, 2. That was pretty bad. 2 mana potions. Might as well use another grape shot blast here. And I think I can get rid of all of these guys now. So I think there is a way to flip it. Yeah, you can rotate them, but I guess the distance matters. Let's get rid of these two first. Okay. Okay. So I still have access to some daggers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can use a lightning blast over here. Might start with... yeah, I'll start with... okay. I'm spending a lot of mana, but I kinda have to get rid of these guys. So he's in a dangerous situation right now. I'm gonna have to teleport him out of there. Over here is fine. Okay. One, two. We are almost done now. Okay. One, two, three, four. Okay. And, okay. So they're coming from two sides again. Let's see what upgrades we can get. Yeah. The story is fine, it's not that great. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it. We're here for the gameplay. Gold mine, scavengers, camp. Mana. Always mana. And damage. I guess we can get damage and armor. But we're good for now. Alright. That's pretty good. Woman of Leaps. Sure. Will let you simply just straight up have more heroes to play with, so that's definitely something you should get as soon as you have the money. So I'm gonna build an inn here, and then what button was it for inn? I think, is it I? M, okay. Yeah. So now you can straight up just buy a new hero. And we need one with a few levels. What about this guy? Thief, dodge and critical power, accuracy, idiot. Oh, this guy's a dumbass. I think this guy is good. So we need 129 gold for him. So how do we get gold? Well, we can get it by scavenging these things here. There's only one of them. You know what, I should probably then have bought the gold mine. Probably would have been useful. So now we have tons of workers, but not much to do with them. Except increase the max health of a character. So I'll give that to him. Max mana to this guy. Then restore mana to everybody. Where's the third one? Where's the ranged guy? Oh, there he is. Okay. What was the night reward? Troll blood amulet, reliability, propagation bounces, isolation. Propagation bounces is pretty good. What do we have for the mage? We have magic crystal, which increases skill range. Nah, can't get it. Let's go back here. Night reward. Wand +1, shield +1. These rewards are terrible. Might as well get the most expensive one and sell it. Level up these characters. You know what? We'll resume. We're almost 2 hours in, so I guess we'll resume from here tomorrow. We can save and quit here. So yeah, I guess we're done for today, and I'll see you guys next time.